Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Italy. Right now, we're in a city that's not really that touristy, and I'm getting the vibe almost immediately. I've been here just less than a day in the city of Genoa, also known as Genova in Italian. So join me as we wander around the streets of this very centuries old city. It's one of the largest historical centers in all of Europe, and I'm already getting the feeling that we're gonna get lost in the labyrinth of Genoa's historic center. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist. Let me know where we're watching from, and let's all explore Genoa for the first time together. I haven't been to the city before. I don't know too much about the city yet, aside from Genoa being a very important commercial and mercantile power for a few centuries, along with Venice. They were both at each other's throats for quite a while. So join me as we explore Genoa. All right, let's go. So welcome everyone, nice to see you here. We are in the city of Genoa. Genoa is located in the northern region of Italy, in the region of Liguria. And Genoa is a city of about 550,000 people, so it's pretty populated, the sixth largest city in all of Italy. But definitely feels way more dense because of the concentration of people in these tight spaces. And I've been hopping around through different parts of Italy, some of them more local, some of them more tourist heavy. And it's nice to see a big, vibrant city vibe here in Italy that is very kind of local, like normal everyday life. Also, to me, it's like a more grungy version of Venice. Venice is pristine with it's almost like an outdoor museum, pristine in its look from all around the world, in and out as tourists on cruise ships. But here, it's way more kind of lively. You can tell people here are doing business, living their daily lives. So welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. Hello, Colleen. Welcome. Maurice, nice to see you here. And also, there's a lot of these alleyways here in Genoa. I'm really loving this. So Genoa is on the opposite side of Italy from Venice. They were the two mercantile powers for the Renaissance times, and they were at each other's throats. They were trying to control each side of their respective area of the sea in the Mediterranean. Genoa still that Venice really doesn't have anymore because Venice has become increasingly touristy. But I'm excited to see what Genoa has to offer. If you've been to Genoa before, let me know what you recommend. Also, it's famous for a few foods as well. Hello, Helena. Nice to see you here. Welcome. Wow. That's stunning. Hello, Kay. Welcome. Nice to see you here. I just love how dense all these buildings are. Hello, Chris. Chris has been wanting to go to Genoa. Hey, Chris. Nice to see you here, man. It's one of the places I want to explore. Oh, I'm happy to be here. Hello, Erica from Seattle, Washington. Hey, Erica. You know, Genoa kind of reminds me a little bit of Seattle for this particular reason. Seattle is a very important port city in America. It's on the opposite side of New York. So like, it's like Venice is New York and Genoa is like Seattle. And then the other factor is that reminds me of Seattle is that there's actually a highway, and this is very rare in Europe, especially Western and Mediterranean Europe. to see a highway run along the waterfront. So right here we have the water. And that is so rare. And we have a historic ship over there. I'm happy to finally see sun. It's been a while. Isabel says, good to see you again after your unique meal in Verona. Yeah, I just came from Verona and dearly loved it. I'm gonna wait for the walking sign so I can cross over and show you a little bit of the port before we go back into the city. But I just came from Verona. I unfortunately couldn't live stream because it was super rainy and it was just a bit difficult to live stream. Plus I was with company and we were enjoying our trip through Verona. But really beautiful city. You'll see at least one more short video about Verona. Look at my Instagram stories, instagram.com/urbanistlive. Urbanistlive is my Instagram handle, and I post short clips and videos and restaurant tips of all the destinations I visit. So check those out. Flying Squirrel says that almost looks like Queens. Well, yeah, Queens is much more sprawling. But yes, I would say like right here I'm getting FDR vibes from FDR Drive in Manhattan. Wow, that ship looks cool. Yeah, let's approach it. The largest aquarium in Europe is also right over here. I don't have plans to go see it, but because I was already so deeply impressed by the aquarium in Monaco. But let me know if it's worth it. All right, let's cross. So Genoa has this kind of combination of heavy, like these big car streets, very hectic, and then at the same time you have these tiny little pedestrian-only streets. Really interesting combination. Susie says, "This is the BQE." Might as well be. I mean, this looks like the BQE to me. Hey, loving your work, says NW says, hoping this is a 2-hour live stream. I'm optimistic that I am going to have enough to wander around here in Genoa, and crossing fingers that the live streaming cell phone reception is good for going to the tiny streets. So yes. Wow, what is this? Well, first there's a hotel right over here, which is interesting. And oh my. Flying Squirrel says, oh wow, the aquarium would be cool this time. Yeah, it would be, yeah. Just imagine the Genoese sailing the high seas in a ship like this with a extremely large, what appears to be Neptune. And Neptune is standing on a poor little kid. Flying Squirrel says, are you commandeering the ship? Well, this is, if I were to commandeer any ship, this would be it. I don't know what this is. It seems to be a tourist attraction. You can walk in. It's not open right now. Wow, Genoese water. Look at this, a nice teal color. Dintin says this looks like the ship in the South Street Seaport. Yeah. South Street Seaport is not quite as ornate. This is way more ornate. This is older style than the one that we see in New York City, or the ones that you see in Boston. Isn't Genoa built into a hillside? Yes, George, it is. I think we'll get a better sense of that maybe a bit further up that way. And there is a funicular to go up to the top of the hill, which is interesting. Is the big gray long building the aquarium? Yep, this is the aquarium right here. Acquario di Genova. So I have to give a big disclaimer. In English, we say Genoa, but in Italian it's Genova with a V. For the context of this live stream, I'm going to be mostly referring to it as Genoa in English. And this is a very interesting quirk in Italian culture you'll notice, is that even if you're speaking another language like English, and you use the English version of a city name or a place name specifically, or also family names, people don't like it. The Italians prefer that you say it in Italian. But of course, I'm doing a broadcast in English, so I'm going to use it in English. But I was very, actually, that quirk kind of clicked to me, and I realized how real it is. When I took the train coming here to Genoa, and they had announcements in Italian, of course, but they also had announcements in English. But every time that the narrator, the person saying the announcements, whoever they recorded, every time they were saying the place name, the next stop, they switched over to Italian speaker. So they were like, the next train stopping at 10:38 a.m. at Genova. Just like switching it to an entire different voice actor, just to pronounce it in Italian. So that's a very fascinating quirk. I see that in France. I don't see that in too many other cultures. Let me know if you noticed that quirk in another culture. I haven't noticed it in Spanish in Latin America. I haven't noticed it in, of course, in England and Ireland and such, or even in the Scandinavian countries either. Is that ship your transport home? Says Susie. Might as well be. Oh, we see skyscrapers. Oh my God. It's rare to see a skyscraper in Italy. They have them in Milan and also here. Gwen, nice to see you here, Gwen. Welcome to the broadcast. So happy so many people are tuning in. It seems like going live a little bit later in the day, more people can tune in. Let me know if you enjoyed the past live videos in Arezzo, the ones that I did in Florence, in Orvieto. Flying Squirrel says, yeah, I encountered that specifically with Edinburgh, yes. Chris says, ooh, I want to go there, yeah. It is a very fascinating city. I did not know what to expect. My expectations actually were very low. Very, very low. I kind of added this to my itinerary last minute because, yeah, I was intrigued by it. You know, almost not too many people talk about it. It is visited a little bit more and more, but it's not one of the top sites in Italian tourism, for sure. Diane, nice to see you here. Marique says we shouldn't translate city names. It has been the practice to translate city names, place names in general, but city names, neighborhood names, and country names for millennia, for centuries, for sure. You know, for example, Japan is not Japan in Japanese, it's Nippon. China has different names. This applies to a whole host of different countries. Mexico, you know, we pronounce it with the X. It's Mexico. We say Spain rather than España in English. So This is a common practice in many languages. Are you limping? Your shadow's limping. No, I'm not limping. Susie. You were live while I was still in bed. This is lunchtime in Munich now, says George. Hey. Do you use the Train Italia app, says Maurice. Maurice, thank you so much for a €5 super chat, man. That's so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Did I use the Train Italia app? Yes, I did. I've been using the Train Italia app this entire trip. For context, Train Italia is one of the 2 major high-speed rail services. The other one being Italo. But Train Italia, you can buy the majority of high-speed rail and regional rail tickets. The app is very easy to use. They charge the same prices, around the same prices of what you will see in the ticket booths. And the app is reliable, and you can pay with a whole host of different payment methods like PayPal, Apple Pay, Google Pay, different credit cards and such. So it's a very, very easy to use app. And nowadays you do not need to validate your ticket. In most cases, you just have to buy the ticket and it'll validate automatically now in the app, which is great. That used to not be the case. So buying tickets via an app or online in Italy used to be rather cumbersome because you would have to print them. Back in the day when I visited in 2021, that was the case, but that is no longer the case. Now you can just buy tickets on the app like you would in many parts of America, like you would in England. So it's very easy to use that. So I've been using it. I highly recommend it. So here we can see how Genoa is built into the hillside. Frances dices bello, sí, bien bello aquí. Peter says only a handful of Italian cities have English versions. Roma is Rome, Bologna remains the same in both languages, yes. The older cities for sure have 2 names. Mika says buongiorno, buongiorno Mika. Fun to see you in Genoa. We were there in May. Says Pat. Are you also going to Cinque Terre? Cinque Terre is nearby. Should I be going? Do you recommend it? Denise says, love exploring with you. Hey Denise, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. So here we see the hillside. That. Alright, I want to get back into the city. So this seems like a nice little waterfront area, but let's go back into the city. Let's go back into the tiny little streets of Genoa. Susie says this doesn't seem like Italy. Yep, very different vibes from many of the other cities we visited. Jay says, welcome to Italia. Pizza, pasta in Brasilia. Oh, basil. Yes, you will find basil here. Wow, what a gorgeous building. Look at that. Marie says, Italy is a great chain. Italy is indeed a great chain. Though if you are in Italy, I would recommend putting priority more of the local spots over Italy. Italy is indeed a good chain, but in Italy, it's more worth going to the local spots, which there are plentiful. Here's a metro system. Marcus says Genoa is quite close to France. It is indeed. And Napoleon Bonaparte did come here and conquer Genoa for a little while. stunning building. It's great to see frescoes on the outside. Frescoes usually are in the inside in these Italian buildings. Most of them are Renaissance era. How cool are the shadows on the cars on that building? Yeah, it is cool. The Italian light just hits differently. How Mika says, friends of mine are now in Roma enjoying la dolce vita. La dolce vita is indeed a beautiful way to live. Maurice says maybe they have Obica in Genoa. I don't think there's an Obica in Genoa. That's a chain, restaurant chain in New York. I'm not sure if it's in other cities. Look at these alleyways. Just love the look of it. Marik says, I agree with the common practice of using the place names in Italian when you are in Italy. Yes, if you are talking to the locals, for sure, 100%. If you're talking to other English speakers, you know, might as well just use the English version. Wow, look at these buildings. Oh my, that's stunning. This is an interesting city. Look at this. I thought I would never see 1800s style architecture, Renaissance revival architecture, right next to a highway. Like, you see some of this in Greece, but I never thought I would see this in Italy. Susie says it right. Yeah, Italy meets the BQE. Yeah, that's how it feels like. Italy meets the BQE. That is so fascinating. All right, let's check out the map of... I think we are in the square where you can take the double-decker buses, which is great. So we're right here, right by San Giorgio. And the train station is further up. I think further around here, this area, further up here. It's the train station, the main train station. And there is different subway stops all around here. Marcus says if they could demolish that and give it back to the people. I'm not sure if all the Italians are having that conversation. That I would be very curious. Ooh, down there we see what appears to be a cruise ship. Yeah, any Italians, let me know. Is this a conversation that's happening in Genoa to tear down the highway here? Because that's happening in Seattle, and it happened in Boston. It's happening in many other parts of America. The Dutch did that all the way back in the 1970s and 80s. The Danes as well. All right, ooh. I don't know how to explain it. There's some cities that just give me this sense of like, oh, excitement and joy. And it's sometimes the least expected cities, like Genoa. Let me know if that has happened to you before. It's happened to me many times and on video. Wow. Here we got some focaccia. Daniel says, have you tried any food or pastries yet? Yeah, I had a coffee in the beginning of the live stream, and I had a cannolo just shortly before I started. But it was like more, it was a different style. It was not your traditional cannoli that you see in New York, or the ones that you see here in Italy, like the crunchy ones that are Sicilian cannoli. But I'm excited to have a focaccia for sure. I am loving this city. This city is so interesting. Maurice says no king cannoli. Yeah. Marek says the highway's not really attractive aesthetically speaking. No, it isn't. I'm amused by its uniqueness. Did not expect to see a highway in the middle of a city in Italy. Hey, Irene says, are you alone? Where's Kira? So now I'm continuing the journey on my own. Kira is back to her daily life. But yes. So I hope you enjoyed the videos with my dear Kira. And now I'm back on my own, exploring the beauties of northern Italy. Merrick says, un espresso per favore. Yeah. So another thing that really I'm liking about Genoa is the sheer amount of cafes with outdoor seating, or cafes with just seating in general, which you don't see as often in a Rome or a Milan. Irene says, I will miss Kira. Oh, I'm glad you will. Hey, Doreen, nice to see you here. Marie says, this is not as polished as other Italian cities. Yeah, because other Italian cities are so focused on the tourism. They have this kind of nice sheen. Isabel says, I did enjoy your live streams with Kira. I'll miss her. She'll be back one day. NW says, I've gotten that feeling of like really feeling that like excitement in Malta. Ooh, yeah. I can imagine now that Malta would have a similar feeling. All right, let's check out this church. Wow. Let's see. This is looking like it could be the Duomo, but I'm not 100% sure. There are lions in front of it. Marie says, does it have a multicultural feeling in general? Yes, it does. Well, that was a stunning piece of architecture, truly. Isabel says the details were all very ornate. Yes. Was it really that quiet in there, or did you disconnect the sound, says Julie? It was really that quiet in there. Yeah, I did not do anything to the sound. And someone earlier asked, do you get a really multicultural feeling from Genoa? Yes, definitely. Similar to Milan, very multicultural. I assume it has been multicultural for hundreds of years, since the 1300s. Because this has been so connected with other parts of the Mediterranean. So you can just imagine walking through 1500s Genoa or 1400s Genoa during the time of Christopher Columbus, because he's from here. You can just imagine seeing people from Morocco, from Egypt, Arabs, some people from the Sudan, maybe some traders from Ghana. You can imagine people coming here from all parts of Europe as well. Europe, England, Scandinavia. Here we have Palazzo Ducale, which appears to be a museum. That's cool. The sun shining on them looks gorgeous. Yeah, I had like 4 days of rain. So it's very, very nice to have finally some sun. We got completely rained out in Verona. And in Verona, we also did a day trip to Lake Garda, to a beautiful town called Ceremone. And I indulged in the hot baths in Lake Garda. Lake Garda is very similar to Lake Como. So it was a wonderful, wonderful visit. But unfortunately it was rainy, so I didn't get to see too much of the spectacular views of Garda. See, I love this. Look at all the immense amount of seating in these like cafes. Here's another church, apparently. Wow, a lot of churches. Who would have thunk it? A lot of churches in Italy. Wow. Let's go inside. No such thing as seeing too many churches.
Il Signore Gesù, invita alla mensa della parola dell'Eucaristia, ci chiama alla conversione. Riconosciamo di essere peccatori e invochiamo con fiducia la misericordia di Dio Padre. Signore, Re perdoni i nostri peccati e ci conduca alla vita eterna. Gloria a Dio nell'alto dei cieli e pace in terra agli uomini dal Signore. Noi ti lodiamo, ti benediciamo, ti adoriamo, ti glorifichiamo, ti rendiamo grazie per la tua provvidenza. Signore, Re del cielo, Dio Padre
Wow. Another stunning church, one after the other. So there was a mass going on there, but there was a beautiful essence of frankincense and myrrh. Ooh, love when they burn incense in churches. Helena says, ooh, I'm amazed by the architecture, the splendor, the beauty. Oh yes, I am blown away. Especially since it's so dense, it's great. Like you get to see a lot. It's similar to Rome in that regard. Oh wow, whoa. Oh my God. What is this? Tracy says, did you just walk by someone wearing a Venetian mask? I guess so. What is this building? Oh my. This is one of the most stunning buildings I've ever seen in my life. I am not exaggerating. The fact that it's like kind of circular, the streets curving around it. It's front facing this piazza with the fountain. Wow. The sweet golden light, says Meta. Oh yes, that sweet golden light. How come Genoa is not more famous? This is marvelous. As the Italians say, meraviglioso. So there is subway station right below us. I think that's causing interruption in cell phone reception. But yeah, is it a bank? Asked Susie. Yes, it says Banca Carish. I'm not sure how to pronounce that in Italian. But yes, it appears to be a bank building currently, or used to be. Genoa was a very important banking city for many centuries, including one of the oldest state-run banks. The oldest state-run bank in the world is still here to this day in Genoa. Edward says Italian coffee on me. That golden hour is stunning. Hey. Thank you so much, Edward. I appreciate the kind €6 super chat. That covers about 4 shots of espresso. So thank you so much. I will indeed indulge in coffee. And hello, Lorraine. Hello, Corina. Hello, everyone. Let me know where you're watching from. We are right now in the city Genoa in Italy, northern Italy. Lorraine says, the city's so beautiful with so many stunning buildings. Yes, I am really stunned. This was not in my original plan because I didn't think Genoa, I thought Genoa was frankly going to be a bit ugly. That was my initial impression. That's what people told me when I asked them about Genoa. They're like, oh, it's not really worth it. It's not much to see. Well, oh my. I'm not sure in terms of sightseeing if there's a lot to see, but just in terms of the sheer beauty of the city, this is gorgeous. Daniel says, happy you could visit and show us the beauty. Earth Paradise says, thank you so much. Beautiful city, beautiful live stream. Flying Squirrel says, tuning in from NYC. Yeah. So a few people said this looks like City Field. Yeah, City Field is definitely inspired by that older Renaissance era architecture. It's very evident that they use some elements of it. It's not too ornate, but baseball stadiums in the US overall have that a similar shape to what you would see in these older coliseums. That dates back all the way to ancient times. But I wouldn't doubt that this has inspired something like a Yankee Stadium or a similar building in Europe. Wow. Neo says this has a French vibe to it. I'm not surprised with its close proximity and probably very close ties with France for many centuries. I am not surprised that there probably is, that there is this kind of French style to it. Definitely I see that with the cafes. So many cafes in other parts of Italy are ready to go. But here there seems to be more of sit-down cafe culture. Mira says, I almost feel like I'm walking in Genoa. Oh, I'm so glad you do. And W says it has a little bit of a similar flair to the Dakota building in New York. Yeah. A lot of these are buildings in New York City, especially if they were built between the 1860s to about the 1930s, are heavily inspired by classical architecture, but also inspired by the revival architecture that was the case here in Europe. In Europe, the Renaissance was the moment when a lot of these older classical styles started being revived and rebooted and remixed and changed and updated. All right, I wonder where I can find a good focaccia. Hello, Joe. Nice to see you here, Joe. Welcome. Oh my God. I'm gonna stick to the main streets for now. Then we'll can risk it and go to the smaller streets. Wow. Daniel says, what's for dinner? Might as well try pesto. Wow. go to these tiny little streets. Susie says everyone copies New York. Yeah, New York has had an influence also on Europe as well, so it goes both ways. Oh, here's a British pub with nice outdoor seating. This is very nice ornate seating. Ooh.
Che occhio! Hai visto che sei uscita da vedere che poteva andare bene? Sì, sì, quella è proprio l'altezza che vorrei. Ok. Ok. Abbiamo chiesto il rituale, che belli questi orecchini.
Hello, Mohammed, Sally, nice to see you here. Doreen says, I barely see graffiti. Yeah, not too much graffiti in the city. I'm pleasantly surprised. Wow. Your videos have been awesome. Any plans on attending a soccer match? Says Ruben. Hey Ruben, man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. No set plans yet. I heard Genoa has a pretty famous soccer team, but I don't know too much about football. Pro tip in Italy, when you're visiting around, go to the vintage shops. They have great clothing here in Italy. I have a little bit of tough time finding things my size, but I cannot deny that the clothes here is awesome. Oh my. Oh my. That's a beautiful bar. Look at that. All right, so I got myself a nice, my first focaccia Genoa. Sometimes it's worth, for the best. If you go to the main squares, you might not always get the best thing. But in Italy, in general, most things are pretty good. So let's try this out. Wow. So soft. Lots of onion on here. Oh, that is amazing. Delicious. Wow. Has a little bit of greasiness to it. I guess they put a lot of oil on it. Wow. I've had focaccia before. I've had focaccia before, but this is on another level. This is like really soft, really fluffy, not heavy, really. I like the addition of the onions. Adds a nice little tang to it. Wow, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Apparently I heard that focaccia is also eaten for breakfast, which I'm intrigued. You need coffee with that, says Susie. Yeah, apparently they drink coffee with their focaccia. I'm not sure what type of focaccia would it be. coffee will be consumed with. Marie says, I heard most of the time people don't walk and eat, but prefer to sit down. This is generally the case. In these bigger cities like Genoa and Milan and Rome, there's a little bit more of a street food culture, meaning quick food to go. While it might be not as normal to walk and munch on most things, people still do it. You won't get weird looks if you do. The thing I see most normal to walk and munch is gelato. That's fairly normal. You see people walking and eating their gelato. But this is a great focaccia. I am genuinely impressed. Now I can't wait for pesto. Alright, I'm hungry. I'm gonna have another bite. So, this cafe looks great. Liberty Cafe right here. I just love the looks of these cafes. Susie says, I think you had focaccia before in Italy. Yeah. I've usually never been I can eat a focaccia, but I'm not too much of a fan because usually I feel like very stuffed after eating it. But this one, it's so light. It's just right. Wow. I'm blown away with a little bit of hint of salt. Look how fluffy this is. Not a super thick piece of bread like they usually do in America when they do focaccias. They tend to be very thick, very heavy. Wow. I finished it. That was one of the better breads I've had so far in this trip in Italy. I am blown away. Wow. Hey, Gary says, now that Kira has gone home, have you been able to take your credit and debit cards out of their hiding places? Gary, I plead the fifth, as we say in America. No comment. Wow. Buongiorno, un affogato, per favore?
Esatto, che gli avevo scritto andiamo a mangiare sushi, che è sparito e tutto quanto, mi ha riscritto e mi fa vabbè che andiamo. E domani è il suo compleanno, no, per sì. È il suo compleanno domani, solo che la sorella è il terzo compleanno che si salta. Io non so cosa fare perché pensavo mercoledì se andiamo a mangiare gli faccio la sorpresa, mercoledì gli porto qualcosa. Domani se l'aspetta, mercoledì no.
Facci sapere, fammi sapere. Sapere. Ciao.
Grazie. Grazie mille. So one indicator of very good gelato is that they cover it in tins. And as I mentioned, the side streets generally are good for gelato. And this looks legit. So this is not quite a Genoese specialty, but this is something you'll find in Italy in many gelaterias, is a affogato. Affogato is a shot of espresso with a scoop of ice cream. Generally of your choice. You can choose the ice cream. I haven't encountered where it's only one particular ice cream, but in this case I just got vanilla. Isabel says, since you know Spanish, do you find it easy to understand Italian? Yes, for me it's a bit easier to understand Italian. I can't speak it, but I definitely can understand if they speak slowly enough. If it's too fast, then I won't be able to understand it. All right, let's try this out. I can definitely read it, which is nice. I won't be able to read it fast, but menus, basic signs, I'm always able to kind of discern what is being said. Cheers. So the espresso has cooled down. The ice cream has also melted a little bit. So you have a kind of very milky little drink right here. That's really good. Hello, Helena. Nice to see you here. Hello, Daniel. Welcome. I love a chocolate ice cream with your affogato. Ebalia says, I would like to come to Italy. I hope you get the chance to go to Italy yourself. I hope you do. So this is very common. You can order this in most gelaterias. It's a good treat. Oh, great gelato. Nice and fresh. That's so delicious. Wow. Firestorm, nice to see you here. Maurice says have some tagliatelle with truffle. I've had a few dishes with truffle. I've had a few pastas with truffle, which is great. Susie says, what is the name of this? It's called affogato. Affogato. A-F-F-O-G-A-T-T-O. If I got it right. Affogato. Roughly, what's the temperature over here? It's about 63 degrees Fahrenheit, give or take. So feel free to ask me any questions about travel, about Italy. We're gonna continue exploring Genoa. I'm excited to show you more. Marco says, it looks like you're enjoying it. I definitely am enjoying it. 100% I am. Affogato. You can find this in some places in New York City, for sure. Some Italian places have it. There's a franchise called Gelato. I think it's called Gelati in New York City. That also has affogato. Flying squirrel says nice, indeed. It was getting much colder in Verona. Verona was already reaching about 57 degrees Fahrenheit, so it was already jacket weather over there. That was really good. I went to Cremaria Bonafede. Cremaria Bonafede. Pardon my Italian. But really, really good place in Genoa. Highly recommend it. It's right over here. Via Lucolio. Let's continue exploring. You're close to Lucolio Piazza. I am. Okay. Let's see where it is. So when it comes to Italy, in general, outside the super touristy centers, like the middle of Rome right by the Colosseum, or Venice right by St. Mark's, aside from those places, don't overthink where you're eating. Generally, everywhere that you find food is going to be pretty damn good. Unless if it's right in the middle of the big squares, outside from that, you'll have pretty damn good food and coffee, and gelato, and focaccia, and a whole host of other things. Now, when it comes to like full meals, I would definitely recommend going outside of the main big squares, especially if they're touristy, because you'll always find good food outside of those main squares or outside the main big streets, the corsos. And generally, you'll find really good food almost anywhere. You don't really have to think too much about where you're gonna go. And then when it comes to the big squares, they still have okay food. Just don't have like a meat dish and a pasta dish I would recommend. Just maybe stick to like a pizza or something a bit simpler, a sandwich, in order to enjoy the view, sit down at the main square, have a few drinks, and then go have your real meal on the side streets. But I found myself barely using Google Maps to find good places to eat. It's been rather liberating to not need to always search for the best place. Hey, Susie says, what brand of luggage do you use? I use Away. Away is the brand of luggage I use. Marie says, it's 7, dinner service starts. Yes, also when it comes to food, to a full meals, there's only 2 services. Lunch, which is generally 12 to 2, sometimes 3, or sometimes it's 1 to 3. But do plan that by 1 p.m. you should be, if you want a full lunch, you should go to a restaurant, have yourself a full lunch. And then you have dinner service, which are usually 7 to 10. Sometimes a bit later, but it's rarely ever earlier. There are restaurants all around Italy, anywhere you go, where they do have continuous service. But the continuous service restaurants are not going to have the top food. The top food will be at the restaurants that have lunch service and then dinner service. And for the smaller trattorias, which are the restaurants specialized in making really good food, those I recommend getting reservations if you can, but don't be shy in popping by if need be and seeing if there's a table. Here's another focacceria. Lots of focacerias all around. He says, I like my dinner before 6. Yeah, usually me too. I don't, it depends. Sometimes I eat a little bit later, but sometimes I'm not always in the same rhythm as Italian dinner. So, and lunch as well, especially lunch. Lunch I always tend to eat at like 3 p.m. So, yeah, it is, sometimes you do have to kind of adjust yourself to the local culture. You won't go starving in Italy. That's the good thing. But if you want to have the utmost culinary experiences, then you do have to, I would recommend getting used to the hours that they have lunch and dinner. And this depends from country to country. So some countries is much earlier. Here's a little wine bar. Look at that little wine bar with the seating. That's great. You have your wine. Now the stores are starting to close. Oh my. Oh wow. Oh boy. Oh my god. So much great architecture here. What is this? What is this? This is a chapel? Yep, it's a chapel. The Chapel of St. Peter in Bianchi, which I mean St. Peter in white. Portipa says, I love that town. Hey, I'm so glad you do. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello, Picard. Welcome. All these buildings with outdoor frescoes. This is kind of very reminiscent of cast iron architecture. Not due to the style of architecture, but due to cast iron being developed in a heavily industrialized age where there was a lot of business, a lot of money being made. But in order to cut costs, but still look opulent, cast iron enabled New York to really build fast, multi-storied buildings that were highly ornate. And that's the case in Soho. And then it seems to have been the case here. And Genoa is part of the industrial triangle with Turin and Milan here in Italy. A lot of the money of Italy is made within this area. And it's very evident to me that this style is similar, in the similar vein to cast iron. That they decided to paint frescoes on the buildings to make them look ornamental and ornate, very elaborate, very regal, in order to save costs. Wow. I am in love with this city. Now we're back at the highway. Kind of did a huge circle around. Ooh, more focaccia. Oh, that looks good. I love these neon signs. Huh. Mauro says, can you read the chat? Yes, I can, Mauro. Thank you so much for tuning in on Twitch. Where are we, Mauro? We're located in the city of Genoa, in Italy, northern Italy. Hey, what is this?
Ciao. Buonasera, da Maxi sin spine. Senza spine. Sì, frizzante. Grazie.
Calamari. Ha preso sì, no, van a ser pido un maxi sin espinaca. Vale. Pero vamos, solo si quieres, a mí no me importa comer uno. Vale, vale. Tú no. ¿Por qué no te
Ok, grazie mille.
Okay, we gotta wait here for a minute. So we're gonna try a very typical Genoese specialty, which is fried fish in these cones. And this place looks to be popping. There's a lot of people here coming to eat. So I'm super excited. I got one that says senza spine, which I think means no spine. I hope that's the case, no bones. And I spend €13 right now. They have a little marker and can't wait to try it out. I got the mixed one. So apparently mixed without spine. So this is called frigitoria. And let's check out the kitchen over here. Look at that. They're breading it, they're toasting it. Mauro says, my favorite country is Italy, to be honest. Yeah, Mauro. I'm glad it is. No bones, says Lauren. Yeah, I think I ordered no bones. Sorry. I was saying spine. No bones, no bones. Le asporto e del passaggio. And it says gastronomia ligure di mare y de tierra. Oh, ok. Sì, sì. Ah, grazie, grazie. Ah, perfetto.
Ne assaggiate uno?
Ah, bellissimo. Oh, grazie.
Ok.
Oh, wow. All right.
Buono?
AC Bono. Let's try this out. YouTube. YouTube.
Ok. Vale, mi sa di figetteria San Giorgio di Cucù.
San Giorgio? Okay. And TikTok, okay. Il Bono, very good. Very good. Oh, que bien. Grazie. Can't wait to try it. Il Bono. All right, I'm super hyped to try it out. Okay, grazie. All right, I'm getting a little bit appetizer before I have my full meal. I'm excited to try this out. Aha, just off. Oh. Okay.
Sacchette di rifiuti
Sì. Oh, perdón.
ed il mix completo.
Grazie mille.
Cade limone, aspetto un attimo.
Sì.
Eccolo.
Grazie.
Grazie, buona serata.
Yeah. Buona serata. All right. Hands are full. I gotta sit down. All right. Bear with me. Luckily, there's steps here. He gave me like a lot of fish. Oh, there's a table here. Oh my god. All right. You're seeing a very weird angle right now, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. All right. I'm excited to have this actually. Nice guy. He was saying that they have Google reviews, so check them out. We got a QR code and we got mixed fish without bones. They give me this to try. Let's see how it is. It's like a fried white fish. It's kind of similar to cod. It might be cod. Doesn't quite taste like a croqueta de bacalao, the cod fish croquettes as you have in Spain. A little bit more airy. Wow. Nice and hot. Here we got some squid. Let me show you. We got some squid. We got some, what appears to be cod. Other fishes are in here. Look at that. Lorraine, nice to see you here. Welcome. I'm excited. Let me know, are you excited? Because I'm excited. I haven't had fried fish in a while. With some lemon. Lorraine said 500 stars. Thank you so much, Lorraine. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for sponsoring everyone this meal. I got some agua frisante, some sparkling water with this. Oh yeah. Doreen says, no, I'm jealous. Yeah. All right. Susie says, I'm super excited for the squid. I knew you would be. Squid is the best. A nice squid. Oh my god. Oh yeah. This is Genoa, ladies and gentlemen. This is really good. I'm not sure what this is. Let's see what this is. Maybe it's just a potato, or maybe it's fish. It's probably potato. We have some shrimp. Hey, wow. It's nice and tender, but also crunchy. Not too overly fried, not greasy. Just a little bit of grease, but just right. I really like it. You can even see the little purple parts of the squid. Wow. Simply put, this is heavenly. This is a great fast food fish meal. Who knew I could have fish and chips in beautiful Italy? All right. I'm gonna continue eating this. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to ask me anything. Let's have a chat. Put my camera up. Let's have a chat. Feel free to ask me anything as I munch on these beautiful sights here in beautiful Genoa. Helena says, I want some. Well, I don't blame you. Ludo says no sauce. I like my sauce. I usually prefer it to have some sauce, but I'm having it right now, and it's so soft and tender and not greasy and heavy that I don't think it needs a sauce. I'm quite enjoying it without any sauce. Kay says, after eating that horse and that donkey, you really would eat anything. Yes, do look at my Instagram stories or my short videos. I indulge in donkey and horse in Verona, which is a specialty up there. Marie says, have you had Italian beer? Not really, haven't tried Italian beer. I've been having a lot of Italian wines, for sure, but not any beers. I haven't come across too many unique Italian beers on the menu, but I'm curious. Let me know if anyone has any recommendations. Hey, I think we have a... Yes, what is this? I don't know what this is. Have you ever eaten moose, says Amy. Not moose, but I've eaten reindeer in Finland. I covered Finland in 2017, and reindeer, I had reindeer stew. It was really good. I had multiple times. So let's try this out. I'm not sure what this is. I don't know my fishes too well. It's like one of those tiny fishes. There's a little bit of that, the skin in there, and nice white fish. Luckily, no bones, but it's really good. Wow. Could be anchovy. Doesn't have the funk of an anchovy. Doreen says, as long as you're not eating the dogs and cats. Yeah, well, that's only for certain parts of America. Let's see if there's another fish hiding in here. A lot of fries in here, which I don't need. I just need fish. I don't want to get full. I want to potentially have a pesto later. Oh! Ooh, look what I found. Another squid. Highly recommend this place. It's really good. Probably the other places that are around here, probably also really good. Try it out. If you find this place, go to it. If you find another one, try it out. I think they'll all pretty much be worth it. Really well done fried fish. Apple and Deb says, in case I make it back to Italy, now I know there's good street food. Yes, there's good street food. Very good street food, for sure. Not every city, but definitely here in Genoa. So far, I had 3 bites pretty casually. It's nice. Ariel, did you get to Genoa from Lake Garda? I got to Genoa from Verona. I spent 4 nights in Verona, and there were lovely, wonderful nights. Beautiful, beautiful city. I wish I could have live streamed. It was so rainy that it wasn't really that easy to live stream. But Verona, highly recommended. Such a gorgeous city. And I came here via train. I had to take 2 separate trains. Genoa is connected directly with Milan, but it's to get to Genoa from other major cities, you have to go through Milan generally. There's no direct train from like Florence to Genoa, for example. Yeah, here we have another. Deborah says I would pass on the squid, but the mini bites on the mini skewer and the fries look good. My dream destination is Ireland. However, I've loved parts of Italy. I visited and definitely enjoying the footage of Genoa, which looks more like a cool place to visit. I remember a train making a stop here. Yeah, I think Genoa might be accessible via France. Let me know if that's the case. It's also close to, well, Turin is close, but to get to Turin you have to go also through Milan. Amazing. I'm pretty much full. If I eat any dinner tonight, probably be something very light, because I really had a blast eating these. Let me know, do you want to explore more Genoa? Night has fallen. Should we go hit the streets of Genoa? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Slam that like button right now. If you want to see more Genoa. If you're genuinely hyped for Genoa. Lorraine says yes please. Let me know. Should I continue showing you Genoa or should I just end the live stream now? As I indulge in all that fish. Colleen says yes please. Kay says keep going. Maurice says love to see more. If you go from Nice to Ventimiglia, you could go to Genoa. Okay. So there's a transfer required, but it seems like you get from Genoa to Nice efficiently as well. Isabel says, I'm so hungry now. All of it look delicious. I feel you, yep. Isabel says, yes, keep on walking. All right, people are saying yes. Good. More Genoa, please. I hope to visit one day, says LAB. All right, cool. All right, let's explore more Genoa, shall we? Let's go. Gonna clean the lens. Meta says, find Italian beer. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can. Hey, we're back to the Aquario as we visited earlier. Marie says, look at that beautiful dark blue sky. The sky is gorgeous right now. Wow. It's an incredible sunset today. Look at that. Renaissance style building, dark blue skies, and a highway with a palm tree and some funky postmodernist streetlights. What more can you ask for? The beauties of Genoa in one frame. So these are generally the restaurants I would avoid for a full meal. Maybe pizza is okay enough, but these main squares, these main touristy streets won't have the best sit-down food. Horizon says, what country are you in? I am in the country of Italy. 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 Oh my God. Maurice says, AI could have not made this up. No. Helena says, Isabel says, and if few of your friends keeping you company. Hey, nice to see you here. Wow. All right, now I got very full. Having that 3-course meal in an order I would not recommend. Don't have your ice cream before your fried fish. But in the live stream, you just gotta live it up and go as you're flowing. Doreen says you need a drink. Indeed, a nice, let me know what's a Genovese cocktail. Maybe there's a specialty cocktail in Genoa. Helena says, that looked like a carousel. Yeah, we passed by a carousel. Hey, Maurice says, try the Le Anciello Spritz. Okay. Haven't heard of that liquor before. Can't wait to check it out. Beautiful size.
Le cose vanno bene.
Yvette is asking, where is this? This is Genoa, Italy. Northern Italy, the opposite side of Italy from Venice, in terms of east and west.
Spinach is okay, but I can't put spinach in everything. Yeah, obviously.
So look where we started. This is where I started the live stream. We've gone almost a full circle walk around the city. Bill says, once again, thank you so much for taking me where I have not been. My pleasure, Bill. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. Appreciate it. Flying Squirrel says, it's amazing to see how similar graffiti looks like no matter where you go. I think it's because we all use, Europe mostly uses the same language system. And in Greece, they still do graffiti in the Western European writing as well, but I haven't been to China or Japan. Maybe the graffiti looks very different there. Oh, these places are very full. LAB says, I'll be in Greece in 18 days. LAB, I'm so glad you're exploring Greece. Greece is just the most beautiful country in the world. I went to Greece this time last year. It was beautiful weather. Oh, how I long for the weather of Greece here in Italy. These little alleyways. Would you walk through these alleyways in Genoa at night? Let me know. Marie says, wow, you're from New York and love alleys. In New York, we don't really have alleyways. Yeah, at least in Manhattan, there's not too many alleyways. There's alleyways in parts of Queens, parts of Brooklyn, but it's not really the same type of experience. Helena says, this is great. Yeah. It is great. I think during daytime, exploring the alleyways might be a bit more interesting. So we're back to the same block. That was a nice little detour. So now for our final stop, let me show you the main thoroughfare, the main street that leads all the way to the train station. It's a very busy area of Genoa. Like the churches are hidden in these tiny little streets. Marie says it's peaceful for a Friday night. Yeah, it is quite quiet for a Friday night. All right, our last church of the evening. Let's see how it is. San Filippo. Church of San Filippo. Scusi. All right, ooh. I got there exactly when the priest was about to close. That was a nice little brief look. He let me show it briefly. So kind of him. Flying Squirrel says, is this any of these areas considered haunted? I don't know yet. I haven't looked into the haunted history of Genoa. Italy, Rome has great haunted history, for sure. I couldn't find too much like in Florence, couldn't find too much in Verona, but Genoa, I think, looks like the type of place that might have a few. So here, Marie says, was the father closing up? He was closing up. So this is the main thoroughfare. If you go down this street, you'll reach the train station, but let me show you this cool car tunnel that goes through one of the historic buildings. Susie says, looks beautiful. Yeah, it's a very beautiful time here in Genoa. You know, it's grungy, but it has this kind of real down-to-earth aesthetic. Look at this historic building. Used to be a galleria. It says Galleria Giuseppe Cariba, but now it's a massive tunnel leading to the rest of the highway system. That is very interesting. Again, this is something I barely see in Italy. Italy has a little bit more car infrastructure, similar to a New York or a Seattle or Boston. So it's fascinating to see such a this combination of tiny little streets and very hectic car traffic and highways passing through the middle of the city. So very, very fascinating combination. My initial impressions of Genoa is it's an awesome city. If you want to see Italy that is not just the pristine museum cities of Florence, of Venice, parts of Rome, the center of Milan, definitely highly recommend coming here. I think it's a really awesome city. I'm not sure how long you would need to spend in Genoa yet. I'll let you know. But I think there's a few sites to see, and there's definitely a lot of day trip opportunities because here you have the Italian Riviera, you have Cinque Terre, you have a lot of other cool stuff nearby. So it might be a very interesting city to stay for a few days. And can you walk through that tunnel? It doesn't seem like it. It wouldn't be safe, I don't think so. So highly recommend. My first impressions of Genoa is it's a very interesting city. Has grit, has grime, but has character, and it seems to have a whole lot of history. So thank you everyone so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Stay tuned for more live videos these upcoming days. Have a great day, everyone. Arrivederci, amici.